like wow. That lady in the red gloves just tipped me a $50 bill tonight when I delivered pizza put to that old warehouse. Biggest tip I ever got so far. Look at it, man, there's a note written
Hey
on it.
Timmy,
Check the
this
side.
is really weird. You better stop by your mom's house and show this note to her. I mean, this might be for real, dude. For real.
Timmy.
Man.
Oh, Timmy, this might just be a prank, but it could also be very real. We better call Lieutenant Skitters at the Murgatroyd Police Department and show this $50 bill to him. Then he can look into the matter and see what is happening.
CRZY News Bulletin Alert. This is a CRZY News Bulletin Alert with Humila Sun. A voice recording from the woman claiming to be kidnapped CEO Judy Vincini was provided to the station today, and we will play the voice recording for you now. Viewers are advised that this is serious, mature content, and young viewers may
Hello,
need
this
to
is
leave the
Judy
room.
Vincini. I am alive and well, but I am being held in a secure place awaiting compliance with a ransom demand that was issued to a certain party earlier today. The instructions that were and will be given must be absolutely followed to the last detail in order to obtain my safe release. That is all for now. Goodbye from Judy Vincini.
Oh, Uncle Frank, what'd you bring that old foot back here for? I asked you to get rid of it. Now don't bring it in the house. Don't bring it in the house. Put it out in the backyard or something if you're gonna keep it. But don't bring it in the house. I wish you'd throw that old foot away.
Well, now, Aunt Susie, listen to me. When I went out there to the biotech lab, the whole dadgum place was surrounded from half a mile back by the Secret Service and the FBI and the police and I don't know what all. And I wasn't about to go off in there with this foot while they had the place under lockdown like that. Now, I could have thrown this old foot out the window, but it's Flashy's foot. And so we'll just keep it in the backyard and see what happens. And I believe it's grown a little since we got it. It's now full-size foot, and you can see part of her ankle sticking up there, and it's still moving a little bit. So I don't know what's going on with it, but if we just keep it out there in the backyard, it ain't going to hurt you, it ain't going to hurt me, it ain't going to bother nobody. And we live far enough from the neighbors, unless they've got a damn pair of binoculars, they ain't going to see that foot anyway. Now, what we got to hope some wild animal, of course, don't get out there and get hold of that foot. But imagine it can kick or move or whatever if that was to happen. But anyway, I'll just stick it out in the backyard. I don't think the chickens will mess with it. Hell, they'll probably run from it. Anyhow, I'm going to keep it until all this blows over, and then I might just mail it to the biotech lab anonymously or something. All righty. Thank you.
earth did you find me here? Have you come to rescue me? Where are you taking me?
Well, to begin with, Mom, I've been following the crazy girl with the long red gloves. You see, I picked up on some things that were said on TV and put two and two together, and I started watching her at the Super Deluxe grocery shopping and coming here to this abandoned warehouse. So it didn't take long once the ransom demand hit the airwaves to figure out that you were here and that she was the one who had you. And so now that she's gone, I'm here and I can get you out of here. It's since you brought me back to life, Mom, I somehow don't see you turning me in. But besides, you're going to be held by me now. You see, I'm going to claim that ransom, and that ransom will create a whole new life for me, a life you never gave me, by the way. I'm sparing you because you are my mom and you brought me into this world, though I really shouldn't spare you. I may or may not spare your kidnapper, this Sharon's Yellow. She may be my next victim. But I have a nice place for you to stay. I will just introduce you as a relative to my blind girlfriend, and your accommodations will be quite nice. Nice shower, nice food. But you will be my prisoner until I receive this ransom money. Once I'm successfully out of the country, you'll be released. So yes, Mom, I am your rescuer, but I'm also your new kidnapper. You are now my captive, dear Mommy. It's my intention in a very short period of time to appoint you, reward you generously as head, even more generously when my final plan of global domination goes into place. Reward you generously, it is my intention, even more generously when my final plan of global domination goes into place.
You see, Senator Devane, it is my intention in a very short period of time to appoint you as head of the North American continent once I am head of the international global order. Well, here it is. Home sweet home, Mom. And you, of course, will be able to make yourself at home. It looks like my blind girlfriend, Doreen, is out. She may be blind, but she sure gets around. I can't wait until you meet her, Mom. You're going to love her. She's the first girl I haven't killed. Well, besides you, of course. Mom, I'm going to introduce you to Doreen as my long-lost cousin from Toledo, Elaine. I think that should work very well. As I say, it's my humble abode. It's not the fanciest apartment in the world, but it is nice, private, discreet, shall we say. I'm able to come and go as I please with a certain level of anonymity. It'll be nice keeping you here while I await the ransom money. Doreen's a good little cook. As I say, she might be blind, but boy, can that girl get around. So, Mom, I hope you like it here.
Oh, Eric, you don't have to do this. You don't have to keep me here. Forget about the ransom money. I can have one of my private jets deliver you to a place of safekeeping in Europe. You can take on a new identity and roam about freely. Count Pedestrian has a large castles and mansions all over Europe in various countries. And Count Pedestrian owed my father many, many favors. He owes me a few favors as well. A simple phone call could arrange all of this.
Mom. Always the boardroom bargainer and wheeler dealer. You never helped me before. Well, I take that back. You did get Dr. Getrick to bring me back to life, after all. Tell you what, I actually liked your proposal, and since I have you as my prisoner, all the cards really are in my hand. Murgatroyd will be extremely hot now. Cops will be all over that warehouse. They're liable to even find and identify Sharon Cielo, your kidnapper. But Sharon by now has probably made a fast getaway. You know what? If I can take you and Doreen with me to Europe, we have a deal, Mom. After all, I need you for insurance. And I need her to fulfill my animal lust. Don't worry, Mom. I won't turn into another Jack the Ripper once I get to Europe. I've already been there, done that. Though I must admit, killing lovely young ladies will be a difficult habit to break. But I suppose with the millions of dollars you will be providing me, perhaps I can find a new hobby.
This is a CRZY News Bulletin. An abandoned warehouse in the old industrial district on the far north end of Murgatroyd was raided by police tonight, and evidence was discovered which confirms that kidnapped CEO Judy Vincini was indeed held captive there during the past 2 weeks. There was no one present in the building at the time Lieutenant Skitters conducted the raid, but evidence points to the involvement of at least one female kidnapper whose identity is being withheld at present pending further investigation. In other news, Vincini stock continues to plummet as the CEO remains missing. And next week at Quentin Memorial Stadium, Uncle Frank will be performing his new hit Just Over Broke to a packed audience, and ticket sales are brisk and are estimated to completely sell out within the next 24 hours. In local weather, the CRZY roving helicopter observes mild but cloudy conditions over the coming weekend and early next week.
Talk shoes. Recorded live.
Whether or not you believe in the weather or not, the eyes have it. Yes, at CRZY Roving Weather Helicopter, we're watching for when it's cloudy. We're watching for when it's cold, and we're watching for when it's raining. Every little change in the weather will be reported to you the minute we find out about it. From the CRZY Roving Weather Helicopter. Whether or not you believe in the weather or not, the eyes have it. Yes, the eyes of our weather watchers are always watching. So you tune in to CRZY TV or CRZY Radio for the latest weather update every day.
Skitters returning your call. Uncle Frank, you left a message indicating that you might have a tip, some information concerning the Judy Vincini kidnapping case.
Thank you, Lieutenant Skitters. This is Uncle Frank. All what I seen might not amount to a hill of beans, might not mean a thing, but I was down there, to the Super Deluxe grocery store the other night, where I shop all the time. And there's this gal in line in front of me, and she's a good-looking woman, too, but about half her face was covered up with some kind of little old mask or a veil or something or another, and she's wearing these long red gloves. And you know how unusual that is, seeing anybody with them long red gloves out shopping and all. And she just got upset and had a hissy fit when I was buying my wife Aunt Suki a bottle of that Slidette 3 cologne, and she just went off on how awful Judy Vincini was and how awful the company was and everything else. And she said Judy Vincini's number is up and something about karma and I don't know what all, and she just acted strange and got mad and just stormed out of there and just left there, and I didn't think anything of it. Then I listened to a lot of these call-in talk shows, and I remembered running into her before down there to the Super Deluxe, and we had talked before in line and all, and she was in a good mood that time, and she recognized my voice from calling into those talk shows and all. And I recognized her, and of course she's talking about her face, getting damaged and all by that. You might remember that, the acid in the Vincini face cream and all a few years ago, when they had them Senate hearings and all this and that. So anyways, I got to thinking about it, and that old gal might have had something to do with that kidnapping. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Now, I don't know what her name was. I didn't catch her name. But she's a tall, good-looking woman and all, and said something about you used to have a modeling career and what have you, and she had long, I believe her hair was brunette. Anyhow, I hope that helps, Lieutenant Skitters. If you need anything else, you've got my number, and just call me. Thank you. Thank you.
That evil rich bitch somehow escaped and the cops descended on the warehouse. Glad I wasn't there when it went down. But nobody seems to know where she is. The news reports have her still missing and held. What the hell is going on? Lieutenant Skitters, what a dreadful creep, has somehow figured out that there was a female kidnapper involved, but I can't be sure how much more he knows. I can't go anywhere near that warehouse anytime soon, but I was careful not to leave any prints behind there. This could be a blessing in disguise in a certain sense. Since Judy Vincini wasn't there either when they raided the warehouse, she can't tell them who I am. The only explanation that makes any kind of sense at all is that someone figured out she was there and then they are now holding her. This means they will try to make a play for that ransom money. What to do, what to do? Well, one thing is for certain, there is no reason for me to stick around Murgatroyd. Even though I haven't yet been officially identified as a potential suspect by Lieutenant Skitters, it could still happen. There is one person in Murgatroyd who stood beside me as a close friend through the whole ordeal with my face being scarred. He hasn't seen me in years, but I have been following his career closely. I suppose it is time to pay him a visit. Maybe stay with him for a while. Maybe even travel with him to Europe, where he sometimes exhibits some of his works and has even sold a few.
I can't believe it's you. Oh my goodness, it's been so long since I've seen you. Where the hell have you been? I'm sure you've been seeing how that bitch, Imogene Slakowski, now Imogene Slakowski Tomac, after her wedding to that sleazy reporter, was dissing my art left and right. And I'm sure you saw my images of Imogene exhibit. Huh. I guess I gave it to that bitch. But anyway, enough about it. You absolutely must stay here for a few days. I am getting bored to death. And I want you to accompany me to Europe. You will be my friend when I go pay a little special visit to Count Pedestrian, who unceremoniously kicked me out of his mansion here in Murgatroyd. I'm going to rub it in his nose, that vile lecher. At any rate, I hear Europe is so wonderful this time of year. Perhaps we should stop in Paris, France first, and then we can gallivant around Europe, have some fun. I'm just so glad to see you.
Murgatroyd is the man who can rebuild America. A man for the people, a man willing to protect the people and to protect past history from the tampering of time travelers. A man who wants to protect humanity from subhuman degenerates like artificially created life forms such as the wooden creature and Flashy the paper doll. If you vote to elect Senator Devane as your next president, you will not only be protecting Murgatroyd, you will be protecting American society and humanity itself. Senator Devane for president. The man who can protect
along with Flashy the paper doll, escaped through a time-flux energy field somehow generated by some kind of device, a time travel device. I want you to listen to me, people. People, this device poses a grave threat to humanity. This country, this world. And this device tampers with the natural flow of time. It is, in fact, an energy time flux device, and the intelligence that's been developed on it, I'm going to convene a Senate hearing into this device. Because you see, my fellow citizens, this device threatens the very integrity of your own existence and the very integrity of this timeline.
we go on our great European adventure. Oh Eric, I might be blind, but flying on a private jet for the first time is an experience I will never forget. Gosh, I only wish I could actually see the Big Ben in London or the Eiffel Tower in Paris, but I guess just hearing things will have to do. Your cousin Elaine from Toledo is absolutely adorable. And taking us on this vacation is such a sweet, kind thing for her to do. Oh Eric, we are so very, very lucky. I just might have such a great time that I never want to go back to Murgatroyd. Hi 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 hi.
Oh, my dear Doreen. I might feel the same way. I might find Europe so exciting that I never want to go back to Murgatroyd either. Of course, I've already done a little cutting up in London, but that was a different time. Way back in the day, as they say. Oh, yes, you're right about my dear sweet relative there. She's quite generous, and she can be extremely generous if the circumstances demand it. It's going to be so interesting to eat. To eat all this wonderful European food, to dine in such exquisite surroundings. Yes, indeed. You might not be able to see the Big Ben in London or the Eiffel Tower in Paris, but I'll describe them to you, my dear. We're going to have the time of our lives, and meeting Count Pedestrian and staying in one of Count Pedestrian's wonderful castles is certainly going to be such an exciting experience. What can I say? A once-in-a-lifetime getaway? Europe, here I come.
We go on our great European adventure. Oh Eric, I might be blind, but flying on a private jet for the first time is an experience I will never forget. Gosh, I only wish I could actually see the Big Ben in London or the Eiffel Tower in Paris, but I guess just hearing things will have to do. Your cousin Elaine from Toledo is absolutely adorable. And taking us on this vacation is such a sweet, kind thing for her to do. Oh Eric, we are so very, very lucky. I just might have such a great time that I never want to go back to Murgatroyd. Hi 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 hi.
Oh, my dear Doreen. I might feel the same way. I might find Europe so exciting that I never want to go back to Murgatroyd either. Of course, I've already done a little cutting up in London, but that was a different time. Way back in the day, as they say. Oh, yes, you're right about my dear sweet relative there. She's quite generous, and she can be extremely generous if the circumstances demand it. It's going to be so interesting to eat. To
to eat all this wonderful European food, to dine in such exquisite surroundings. Yes, indeed. You might not be able to see the Big Ben in London or the Eiffel Tower in Paris, but I'll describe them to you, my dear. We're going to have the time of our lives, and meeting Count Pedestrian and staying in one of Count Pedestrian's wonderful castles is certainly going to be such an exciting experience. What can I say? A once-in-a-lifetime getaway? Europe, here I come. Welcome to Opinion Radio, where you can call in with your opinions.
Welcome to our show today, this week's edition of Opinion Radio, with your host Julie Etta Sidestepper. Call in your opinion about anything, any idea, any subject. This is where you can voice your opinion. And we have a caller on the line.
Hello, dear Julie. It's Uncle Frank here. I was going to tell you about something kind of strange, kind of unusual and all that happened to me. You know, I live out there in the woods between Flat Town and Murgatroyd, you know, and all like that. Sometimes I got chickens out in the backyard, and I'll go out there in the woods, you know, and my shotgun if I hear something, you know, like a coyote or wolf or whatever, you know what I mean. And there's this little old creek that runs between the Vincini Cosmetic Corporation and that their biotech lab and all down there. Anyhow, I've seen some weird stuff out there, and I called one time and kind of talked about it, but something really odd that happened the other day. I was out there close to that creek, and I've seen this little old thing kind of slither up close to me. What I thought it was a snake and all. It looked like a snake, you know, and I didn't know exactly what it was. And it looked straight up at me, and it talked to me. It said, "Hello, how are you?" I'm not used to seeing some kind of a snake talk to me and all, and it just kind of, I didn't know what to do about it. I don't want to tell Aunt Suki because she's scared to death of snakes. She'd be wanting to move if she knew it was out there behind us. So anyhow, I got in, you know, and got on Google and all, and looked up on the internet, and it turned out it was an eel. You know, it wasn't a snake; it was an eel. But anyway, this little old thing, it talked to me, and that's the kind of weird stuff that's going on. Those old chemicals going down there at the biotech lab, and there ain't no telling what else is out there in the woods. You know, I've seen some weird stuff I ain't even going to repeat, you know. But I just thought I'd pass that along there to the listeners, Juliera. Thank you.